Stop saying what you can't do. Stop saying what's too hard. From this moment forward, it's simple 3 words that will transform your life. I can, I will, I must. Listen to me. The biggest enemy you will ever face is not the person across from you. It's not the competition. It's not the people who doubted you. The real battle is happening right now inside your own mind. The question isn't whether the world believes in you. The question is, do you believe in you? Because if you don't believe you can, nobody else's belief will ever matter. I can is the foundation. It is the spark that lights the fire. You can't build anything lasting if you don't first decide deep in your spirit that you are capable. And that's the problem for most people. They live their entire lives under the weight of limiting beliefs. They've been told they're not smart enough, not strong enough, not talented enough. And after hearing it for years, they start to believe it. But hear me loud and clear. The greatest chains you will ever wear are the chains you put on yourself through doubt. When you say, I can, you are breaking those chains. You are declaring war on every excuse, every lie, and every limit that has been placed on you. You are standing up and saying, I don't care what my past looks like. I don't care where I started. I don't care how many times I've failed. I can rise. I can grow. I can win. That statement alone shifts the atmosphere. It flips the script. It rewrites the narrative of your life. The truth is, most people don't fail because they don't have talent. Most people don't fail because they don't have resources. They fail because they never truly believe they can succeed. They give up before they even start. They look at the mountain and convince themselves it's too high, too hard, too impossible. But let me tell you something. The mountain is never too high when you believe you can climb. The road is never too long when you believe you can finish. The fight is never too hard when you believe you can win. I can. It's not about arrogance. It's about faith. Faith in your ability, faith in your work ethic, faith in your resilience. When you wake up every morning and declare, I can, you are programming your mind for success. You are reminding yourself that failure is not final, setbacks are not permanent, and pain is not your master. Or the words you speak over yourself matter more than the words anyone else speaks over you. If you keep saying you can't, you will live your life proving yourself right. But the moment you decide to say, I can, you shift your entire reality. You've got to understand, belief is the seed. Nothing grows without the seed. You can have all the motivation in the world. You can have all the opportunity in the world. But if the seed of belief is not planted, nothing will take root. Belief is what gives birth to action. Belief is what fuels persistence. Belief is what keeps you standing when everything around you is collapsing. That's why the first step is always I-K-A. Think about it. Every champion, every leader, every world changer had to first conquer their own doubts. Before they could lift the trophy, they had to lift themselves out of fear. Before they could change the world, they had to change their thinking. They didn't wait for the perfect moment. They didn't wait for everyone else to believe. They looked in the mirror and said, I can. That's what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. When you say, I can, you give yourself permission to try. And trying is the only path to victory. Too many people talk themselves out of opportunities before they even step on the field. They let fear of failure steal their destiny. But the truth is, failure is not the opposite of can. Failure is part of it. Every I can is followed by lessons, by struggles, by setbacks, but it is also followed by breakthroughs. You can't get to the promise without walking through the process. So when life tells you no, when your circumstances scream impossible, when your mind starts whispering doubt, you've got to rise up and shout louder. I can. You've got to rewire your brain to believe that possibility lives inside of you. You've got to remind yourself daily That greatness is not reserved for a chosen few. It's available to anyone bold enough to believe. Belief is the starting line, but belief alone won't win the race. I can gives you confidence, but abuelo gives you movement. It's one thing to believe you have the ability, but it's another thing entirely to commit everything you've got. YYLIL means you're not just talking anymore. You're not just dreaming anymore. You're stepping into action. You're putting your belief on the line. YYL is about making a decision that no matter what it takes, no matter how long it takes, no matter what it costs, you are going to get it done. Too many people say they believe, but when life gets hard, they fold. They believe, but they don't act. They believe, but they let fear dictate their choices. That's not commitment. That's convenience. IYL is different. IWL is a promise you make to yourself that quitting is not an option. When you say IWL, you activate a different level of energy. You're not waiting for motivation to show up. You're not waiting for someone else to push you. You're moving because the decision has already been made. IYL means you're gonna wake up early even when you wanna sleep in. IWL means you're gonna put in the hours when nobody's watching. IWL means you're gonna stay disciplined when distractions try to pull you away. Think about it like this. Belief is the seed, but commitment is the water. Without water, the seed dies. Without action, belief dries up. YYL is what takes belief from an idea in your head to a reality in your life. It's the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Without that bridge, you never get across. You stay stuck in the land of potential, and potential is wasted when there's no commitment to back it up. The truth is, life will test you every time you declare, I buy while. Life is going to throw obstacles in your path just to see if you mean it. It's going to throw setbacks, delays, failures, and doubts at you. Most people break under that pressure because their belief wasn't strong enough to drive commitment. But when you stand firm and keep repeating we LL in the face of resistance, that's when your character is forged. That's when you build endurance. That's when you prove to yourself that you're not just motivated. You're committed. IYL is powerful because it leaves no room for excuses. Excuses die the moment you commit. Excuses live in the space of maybe, someday, and I'll try. But IYL slams the door on excuses. It doesn't matter if you're tired. It doesn't matter if it's inconvenient. It doesn't matter if it costs you more than you thought. It's already decided. IYL means you are willing to do whatever it takes to honor the promise you made to yourself. This is why some people succeed and others don't. It's not always about talent. It's not always about resources. It's not even about opportunity. It's about commitment. The ones who win are the ones who decide that nothing will stop them. They don't say, I'll try to make it work. They say, IYL, make it work. That's the difference between people who dabble and people who dominate. IYL is about consistency. Anybody can start something. Anybody can get excited in the beginning. But IYL shows up when the excitement fades. IYL shows up on the days when you don't feel like it. IYL shows up when progress is slow. IYL shows up when nobody is clapping for you. That's when commitment speaks louder than belief. That's when discipline takes over and keeps you in the fight. There will be times when you feel like you don't have the strength to keep going, but that's when IYL kicks in. IYL reminds you why you started. IYL pulls you forward when everything else is trying to hold you back. IYL refuses to accept defeat because the decision has already been made in your heart. Once you declare it, once you own it, once you lock in, it doesn't matter what storms come against you, you keep moving because IYL won't let you stop. I can gives you belief. IYLL gives you commitment, but IMUST takes you to another level entirely. IMUST is no longer about choice. It's no longer about options. It's no longer about whether you feel like it or not. IMUST is about making your dream non-negotiable. It's about making your purpose so essential that there is no way out, no back door, no plan B. When you say IMST, you are declaring that this is not something you want to do. It's something you have to do. Most people stop at I can. They believe they can achieve something, but they never move beyond belief. Others step into IYYL. They commit for a season, but when life gets heavy, they let go. Very few ever reach the level of IMST, and that's why so few ever reach greatness. IMOST means you don't give yourself the luxury of quitting. It means you don't allow excuses to live in your life. It means you burn the bridges, you burn the boats, and you refuse to go back to the comfort zone you came from. Think about survival. When someone is fighting for their life, they don't stop and say, I'll try. They don't say, I hope I can make it. They don't say, maybe I will. They say, I'm MUST, because when survival is on the line, there is no option but to fight. And that's exactly the same energy you've got bring to your dreams. If your dream is optional, you will quit when it gets hard. But if your dream is a must, you'll keep fighting even when you are exhausted, even when you are in pain, even when the odds are stacked against you. IMUST changes the way you think, the way you act, the way you live. You stop asking, do I feel like it today? You stop negotiating with laziness. You stop debating with procrastination. You stop entertaining excuses, because it's not about feelings anymore. It's about necessity. You don't brush your teeth because you feel motivated. You do it because you must. You don't breathe because it's convenient. You do it because you must. That's the level your goals need to be at. When your dreams become as necessary as breathing, that's when nothing will stop you. The people who win in life are the people who treat their vision like oxygen. They understand that it's not optional, it's not extra, it's not something they can get around to later. It's life or death. IMUST makes difference between dabblers and dominators. Dabblers dabble when it's easy. Dominators push because they have no other choice. When you make it non-negotiable, you silence every voice of doubt. You silence every distraction. You silence every temptation to give up. And here's the truth. Life is going to test you harder when you say, IUST. It's going to push back. It's going to throw everything at you, because greatness is never handed out cheap. The struggle is the price you pay to prove you mean what you said. Anybody can say, I can't. Many will say, IYL, but only the strongest will stand up in the storm and declare, I'm UST, and then back it up with action. You've got to understand, when you declare, I am UST, you are not just making a statement, you are making a covenant with yourself. You are locking yourself in. You are saying, I don't care how hard it gets. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care how many times I get knocked down. I must see this through. That's when something shifts inside of you. That's when fear starts to lose its grip. That's when discipline becomes natural. That's when purpose becomes stronger than pain. IMUST is about urgency. You stop putting things off for tomorrow because tomorrow is not promised. You stop waiting for the right time because the right time doesn't exist. You stop hoping for an easier path because the path is never easy. Instead, you step up and take ownership. You accept the fact that your dream will cost you, and you decide that the price is worth it, because this is not a wish. It's not a desire. It's a must. When you reach this level, you stop talking about what you want to do and you start living like it's already done. You stop acting like you have time to waste. And you start moving with intensity. You stop entertaining distractions and you start protecting your focus. Because once you make something non-negotiable, the universe itself starts to bend around your decision. Doors open, opportunities appear, and strength you didn't even know you had begins to rise up inside you. Pain is part of the process. Pain is part of growth. Pain is part of the price you pay when you chase something bigger than yourself. And the problem is too many people run from pain instead of running through it. They see pain as permanent, but the truth is pain has an expiration date. It doesn't last forever. It may hurt right now. It may feel unbearable right now. It may weigh you down right now, but it will pass. What doesn't pass? What doesn't fade? What doesn't have an expiration date is your purpose. You've got to understand this. Pain shows up to test how badly you want it. Pain is the barrier between the ordinary and the extraordinary. Pain asks you one question: are you willing to suffer for what you say you want? Because dreams don't come free. Success doesn't come cheap. Every goal that matters will demand that you endure some kind of pain, whether it's physical pain, emotional pain, or mental pain. But here's the good news: pain is temporary. Purpose is forever. Think about it. The soreness you feel in your body after pushing yourself in the gym, that fades. The exhaustion you feel after staying up all night grinding on your dream, that passes. The rejection, the heartbreak, the loss you thought you could never recover from, over time it heals. But the purpose you carry inside of you, the calling that drives you, the mission that burns in your soul, that stays. That doesn't go away. That doesn't fade with time. That is forever. People quit because they confuse the temporary with the permanent. They let a moment of discomfort rob them of a lifetime of fulfillment. They give up in the middle of the pain without realizing that the pain is temporary, but the regret of quitting lasts forever. Regret is permanent. And the only way to avoid it is to hold on to your purpose when pain comes knocking. Your purpose is bigger than the pain you're feeling. Your purpose is greater than the struggle you're in. Your purpose is stronger than the pressure that weighs on your shoulders. But you've got to be willing to endure. You've got to be willing to tell yourself, this hurt I feel right now is only for a moment, but the victory waiting for me will last for a lifetime. You can't allow temporary feelings to decide permanent outcomes. Every champion you admire has faced pain. Every success story is written in the ink of sacrifice. They didn't avoid pain. They embraced it. They didn't give up when it hurt. They pushed through because their purpose was bigger than their pain. They understood that while the body screams stop, the spirit whispers, keep going. And the spirit wins every time you decide that your purpose matters more than your comfort. The truth is, pain will never leave your life completely. It's always going to show up in some form. But pain can either be your prison or your passport. For some, pain locks them up, paralyzes them, convinces them they can't go on. For others, pain becomes the evidence that they're growing, the sign that they're moving forward, the ticket that gives them access to a new level. The difference is perspective. When you believe pain is forever, you quit. When you know pain is temporary, you endure. Purpose, on the other hand, is eternal. Purpose outlives the moment. Purpose outlives your emotions. Purpose outlives even you, because your purpose is your legacy. Your purpose is what people will remember when you're gone. Your purpose is what impacts lives, shifts families, changes generations. That's why you can't afford to let temporary pain steal forever purpose. You've got to keep reminding yourself the struggle you feel today will not last. The sleepless nights will not last. The loneliness will not last. The rejection will not last. But if you hold on, if you endure, if you stay locked in, your purpose will stand. Your purpose will remain. Your purpose will carry you beyond the pain and into the life you were created to live. Motivation feels good. Motivation gets you excited. Motivation makes you want to move. But here's the truth: motivation doesn't last. Motivation is an emotion and emotions fade. One day you're fired up, ready to conquer the world, and the next day you don't even feel like getting out of bed. If your life is built on motivation, you're going to be inconsistent. You're going to start strong and quit fast. That's why discipline is greater than motivation. Discipline is what keeps you moving when the excitement dies. Discipline is what carries you when motivation runs out. Discipline is the backbone of success. Motivation is a spark, but discipline is the engine. Motivation will get you started, but discipline will keep you going. Discipline doesn't ask you if you feel like it. Discipline tells you to get up and do it anyway. Motivation is about feelings. Discipline is about standards. Discipline says, I don't rise to my feelings, I rise to my commitments. That's the difference between the people who want it and the people who actually get it. You've got to understand that your emotions will betray you. Your emotions will tell you to stay in bed. Your emotions will tell you to eat what you shouldn't eat, skip what you shouldn't skip, quit when you shouldn't quit. If you listen to your emotions, you'll never be consistent. And if you're not consistent, you'll never be great. Greatness belongs to the discipline. Greatness belongs to the ones who show up every single day, regardless of how they feel. Discipline is freedom. At first, it feels like sacrifice. It feels like restriction, but in reality, discipline gives you control. Motivation might get you to the gym once, but discipline makes you strong. Motivation might get you to open a book, but discipline makes you wise. Motivation might push you to start a business, but discipline keeps you in the fight long enough to see it succeed. Discipline is the difference between dabbling and dominating, between talking about it and being about it. The reason most people fail is because they wait to feel motivated. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect energy, the perfect mindset, and it never comes. They treat success like it's a mood, but success is not a mood. It's a discipline. The ones who win are the ones who decide to do it, whether they feel like it or not. They understand that the body might say stop. The mind might say wait, but the discipline says go. Motivation is temporary, but discipline builds habits. Habits shape your life. What you do daily becomes who you are permanently. If you want to change your life, you can't just wait for motivational highs. You've got to create habits that push you forward even in the lows. Discipline turns action into lifestyle. It turns struggle into strength. It turns effort into results. Discipline is what separates amateurs from professionals. Amateurs practice when it's convenient. Professionals practice until it's automatic. Amateurs rely on inspiration. Professionals rely on routine. Amateurs look for a reason. Professionals don't need one. That's why discipline beats motivation every single time. Because discipline doesn't care about moods. Discipline only cares about mission. Because think about it. You don't brush your teeth because you're motivated. You brush them because it's discipline. You don't go to work because you're motivated. You go because it's discipline. The things that build your life aren't done out of bursts of energy. They're done out of consistent habits. If you want to win, you've got to bring that same level of discipline to your dreams. Treat your goals like necessities, not options. Show up for them the way you show up for the things that keep you alive. At the end of the day, motivation might inspire you, but discipline transforms you. Discipline doesn't just get you to the door of opportunity. It kicks the door down and walks you through. Discipline is what makes sure that when the feelings fade, the work still gets done. Discipline is what guarantees that no matter how you feel, progress is made. And progress is what leads to greatness. Everybody wants success, but not everybody is willing to pay the price for it. Success is not free. Success does not go on sale. Success is not handed out to people who wish for it. It is earned by those who are willing to sacrifice for it. If you want something extraordinary, you've got to give up the ordinary. If you want something different, you've got to do something different. Success demands that you let go of comfort, excuses, and laziness and step into the fire of discipline, focus, and consistency. Sacrifice is the doorway to greatness. It's what separates the ones who dream from the ones who achieve. You can't have it both ways. You can't hold on to every comfort and still reach the top. You've got to decide what matters more, the party today or the purpose tomorrow, the distraction right now or the destiny waiting for you. Every yes to success is a no to something else. Every hour you spend working is an hour you sacrifice from comfort. Every ounce of energy you pour into your dream is energy you could have spent on something easier. But that's the price. That's the cost. You've got to ask yourself, what are you willing to give up? Are you willing to give up sleep when the work demands it? Are you willing to give up friends who don't believe in your vision? Are you willing to give up scrolling on your phone so you can scroll through the results of your own hard work? Are you willing to sacrifice pleasure for purpose? Because success doesn't just ask for effort, it asks for sacrifice. The truth is, most people are not willing to let go. They say they want success, but they want it on their terms. They want to eat what they want, sleep when they want, play when they want, and somehow still get everything they've dreamed of. But life doesn't work like that. Success is expensive, and the currency you pay with is sacrifice. The reason few people have it is because few people are willing to pay what it costs. Sacrifice is not punishment. Sacrifice is an investment. Every time you give something up, you are planting a seed that will grow into something greater. You're not losing sleep, you're investing it. You're not losing comfort, you're investing it. You're not losing time, you're investing it. And the return on that investment is success, freedom, and fulfillment. But you've got to trust that the pain of sacrifice now will produce the reward later. Think about every champion you've ever admired. They didn't get there by chance. They didn't get there by doing what everyone else was doing. They sacrificed. They gave up nights out. They gave up distractions. They gave up excuses. They traded ease for excellence, pleasure for progress, comfort for calling. That's why they shine on the stage, because behind the scenes, they were willing to suffer. Success demands that kind of discipline. It demands that kind of commitment. It demands that kind of sacrifice. And here's what you've got to understand. If you don't sacrifice what you want will become the sacrifice. If you don't give up temporary things for lasting things, you'll end up giving up your dream for distractions. If you don't give up comfort to chase purpose, you'll end up giving up purpose to stay comfortable. One way or another, something is going to be sacrificed. The question is, will it be your excuses or your success? Sacrifice doesn't just shape your habits, it shapes your character. It forces you to grow, to stretch, to become someone stronger than you were before. Sacrifice builds resilience, patience, and toughness. It teaches you to value what you have because you worked for it, you bled for it, you gave up for it. That's why success tastes so sweet when you finally reach it, because you know the price you paid to get there. So when you look at your dream, understand that it comes with a cost. The bigger the dream, the bigger the sacrifice. You don't get to skip the price tag. You don't get to discount the process. Success demands full payment up front, and the only question left is whether or not you are willing to pay.